What's up, guys? I'm Crystal Lee Naomi, aka Jasmine Borders on Tyler Perry's Sistas. Be sure to subscribe to the Haves and the Have-Nots review for not only reviews on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but also on Sistas. And while you're at it, give your girl a follow on Instagram at Crystal Lee Naomi. And I'll see you every Wednesday at 9, only on BET.
All right, Sisters fans, look, I know it's late. I know. But you all know I've been busy outside of YouTube. I mean, I posted like 20 videos at the top of the week. I was on TV, praise Jesus, had a crap ton of eBay stuff, and I've been working on taxes and the house stuff. So here you go, episode 13, Let It Be Review, Just For Me, which aired on February 3rd. Make sure you like the video, hit subscribe, click the bell notification icon and select all. That way, you know when I post content on the channel, and follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. 8 out of 10. No. 9 out of 10. Honestly, I was going to score it lower, but Danny and Fatima were the MVPs for me from this episode. This was good stuff. All right, so Danny stood her ground against Preston's racist brothers. I gotta admit, I mean, ain't no need of repeating what they were saying, but I just love how last week's episode, it's like, oh damn, it's like Danny's looking down, like we know our girl ain't going to go out like this, but she had some clapbacks, ran him over with the cart. Shout out to Zach, because the moment he came into the scene and noticed something was up, he was quick to jump to Danny. Danny and Zach, just those two, I don't want to see them in a relationship because I just love their friendship so much. Their bond is like, I don't need them together. I just love their dynamic together as friends, like brother and sister. Like, for real, that's how I feel about these two. But long story short, they don't want their brother talking with her anymore. They bought tickets. They bought plane tickets just to be able to walk back there and see Danny, which honestly is a contradiction from last week, because correct me if I'm wrong, I know some people in the Facebook group were calling this out. Wait, how is Karen giving clearance to go up on the plane to see Zach? How did Karen get to the back to even talk with Danny to go to the plane to see Zach? Did she buy a ticket? Yeah, I know, right? Real world continuity. But in any case, we know that Preston's father is dead, and we know that their mother's alive. And apparently, Preston, it was a bet to see whether or not he can do it with a black girl, because typically they only get with black women to get ass and then they move on. And then they also wanted, like, you're not going to get in our family. You're not getting any of our money. We got way more than you got. And then from there, that just is really questionable. Was Preston only with Danny because of that bet? But then in the midst of their one night stand, he actually caught feelings and wants to be with her. So that raises a lot of red flags. All right. So like I said, Zach steps up to defend Danny, and this woman gets in she gets in Zach's cart and then runs him over. Well, hits them with it, and I was like, this is hilarious. They leave with their hillbilly tails tucked between their legs. Danny helps Zach to calm down because, hey, don't worry about it, I'll handle this. And then they go about their jobs. Hell of an opening. All right, so Maurice goes into Sabrina's office to break up the Jacoby-Sabrina date. And, she's like, we're just working. Well, yeah, it's almost closing time, and y'all been in here for so long. So then Jacoby goes back out. Maurice sits down and pretty much shows in the drug test results that Jacoby's clean, doesn't even drink soda, just nothing but protein stuff and water. And Sabrina tries to call him out for being attracted to him. Like, I ain't attracted to that boy. But then there's also Calvin's drug test. I looked at it because I couldn't wait for you. And Calvin's clean. And then Sabrina says some of the wisest words. Kind of like Andy. She says some profound stuff at times, but she doesn't really follow the advice. She says, I need to stop listening to what other people say. I'm like, yes, you think? But then again, if Sabrina did that, then she wouldn't have much of a story arc. All right, so now that the test results come back clean, Maurice is like, well, good. You going to call him? Because he also brings up the fact that Calvin was in here earlier to, give over the keys. So basically confirming they are roommates. And then it's like he did see you and Jacoby, and he was a bit jealous. And Sabrina was like, oh, and Maurice is like, wait, you like this, don't you? He was like, what are you talking about? Then cut the crap and call. No, I want him to call me. And Maurice is like, y'all need to stop playing these freaking games. But Sabrina makes it clear that she wants to keep her options open. She, possibly Jacoby, she wants somebody more rugged, just manly. I guess that's the easiest way to put it, just more manly. And again, it sucks because, Calvin wanted a relationship. She said she wasn't ready. And then now it's like, okay, I want somebody else. And then I guess it's a question of, is the grass always greener? All right, so then we got Zach and Danny on the plane. She's smoking her pen. And basically the bosses bought the fake story she told about, why those two dudes were run over, and they bought it. And somebody in the Facebook group was like, damn, these people can just do whatever they want on their jobs. I'm like, yeah, at least it isn't like season 1 with Sabrina, because how many times did Sabrina just up and walk out of the bank? I'm like, she ain't on her lunch break. But yeah, you got Danny smoking her pen on the freaking plane. My gosh. But get props to Danny because she found the box in Lost and Found. This was the box of all of Zach's grandfather's belongings, and he confirms he did not use the credit card and explains what's going on with the truck and everything. Chain Breakers. It's an organization that can help him go straight. And he wanted to do it and then show her, it's like, yeah, I could make it. I could do something for myself. And Danny's like, oh, is it because you love her? I always love her, but I'm doing this for me. I want to change for the better. I want to do something right with my life to just show her, because she's never believed in me or anything like that. So that's why he's doing what he's doing. It's for him, not for her. I like that. And then when he tries to, be comforting to Danny about the whole Preston situation, she doesn't want to talk about it. But this was a great scene, and that's why I just love this stuff. We got Fatima confronting Hayden at work about the whole Zach situation, and he doesn't deny the fact that, he threatened him. And basically, Fatima did not reveal that Zach was the one that said Hayden confronted him, but basically said that Zach was acting funny recently. I was just wondering, did you say something to him about it? And basically, Hayden's like, you know what? You're better than all these con men and these jailbirds and everything. And Fatima makes a solid point. It's like, you could have been one of them too. I thought this was a situation where, maybe Hayden had a checkered past and then he just got on the right path. Or I guess she was speaking in general, like, the stereotype of black men and how the police look at us and whatnot. So, maybe you could have been at the wrong place at the wrong time, completely innocent, and then could have ended up in jail too. All right, but basically, Fatima makes it clear that you stay away from Zach, leave me alone, I'm done with you. I think it's safe to say Hayden isn't done with Zach, or hate Fatima for that reason. Then we get an interesting scene. Okay, so Fatima comes out of Hayden's office fuming. Andy calls her. I think Fatima had a little bit of anger when she responded. They go into Andy's office, and she pretty much advises, as someone with experience, I wouldn't recommend dating a coworker. Fatima squashed that real quick, like, no, we aren't involved. And then, Andy does a little bit of digging, but basically come to find that, oh, Hayden's harassing you. Look, when he first started up, we went out one time, but it's over. But he's arrogant. He's an asshole. I'm seeing someone else. He threatened him. And, Andy's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's like, it's almost like they went from boss to employee back to girl talk, because it's like, have you need to schedule something for a case? Oh, already taken care of. So basically, yeah, it's like it goes from business to girl talk in like a second. So basically from there, she realized, oh, okay, Fatima, you're in control of the situation. And she's like, well, I know you're going through a lot. Like, I don't know if I can handle being you. What do you mean? It's like, this man you love, his wife and everything else. Fatima just kept it real. It's like, everything you're going through, at least you got this. But then again, they tried to take it away, but hey, you didn't lose it. So I just love the positive reinforcement she offers to her friends. So it's interesting because she also brings up the fact that, the whole Hayden situation, it's like, I got a new man and I just feel good about him. It's like, again, it's difficult to really define how I felt about Andy in this scene, because last week it's like, well, Andy, it's almost like you think you're better than Fatima. It's like, I don't want to be like you, Fatima, dating around. But it's like, well, Andy, you're dating someone, or you're in love with somebody who's married. But then in this scene, it's like, I know what it's like to be involved with a coworker. I wouldn't recommend it. I guess she's referencing the fact that she was dating Gary, who was the husband of a woman that she was assigned to represent. So technically she wasn't dating a coworker. I mean, unless the guy from college was someone she worked with, I don't know. But it's almost like Andy, it's like you're one to talk about telling someone who they should and shouldn't date in regards to abuse. That's how I felt weird about the scene. It's like she was concerned about, is he harassing you or this, that? And it's like, well, Andy, Fatima knows how to stand up to herself. It's just weird. It's like, I don't want to say I hate Andy, but it's like, it felt, I don't know how to telegraph or communicate how I felt about Andy in that scene. Once again, it's like a conflict of a boss and employee, and then they went to girl talk. So you know what? I think I know what I mean. I'll get to it at the end of the video. All right. So after that, Paris comes in to see Andy. Apparently, him and his mother had talked a little bit earlier. He wanted to see if she was okay. And, she said, oh, yeah, your mom's a wise old woman, but don't tell her I said that, the old part. And he invites her to dinner, and she has a dinner date with the girls tonight, but they'll reschedule. And he's like, well, just call me when you're clear and sober, because this you I'm talking to right now is the person I want to know. Because, before I felt like nothing like a piece of meat. It's like, well, you kind of are, which was funny. But I'm like, Paris, move on. Kind of like Andy needs to move on for Gary. Paris, just go. You deserve better than this. Like you said, a piece of meat. But then again, when Andy got undressed, I mean, I can't really fault him. But Paris, go. Just, you can do better than Andy. But then again, that body. Just Paris, no. Just Paris needs to go. I'm not saying I dislike the character. But after the short amount of time that you've been around Andy, look at everything that you've been going through. Just, you're better off without her. That's all I'm saying. All right. So, felt a little too real there for a second. Okay. So then we got Zach working on the house, and Fatima calls him and says, hey, I ain't gonna lie. I don't like being told what to do, but for a woman to kind of be like domineering like that was a bit sexy. Fatima's like, no, after you finish up, you come over here for dinner. But I'm working late. I don't care. I want to see you. Damn. Okay. It's all taken care of. And then Zach's freaking out about the hating situation. Like, do you trust me? Come on, girl. It's like, but I have ever lied to you before. Okay, fine. I'll come over. So I thought that I liked that scene. It was good. Okay, so here we go. This is pretty much like the last scene of the episode, minus Danny at her apartment. But we got Sabrina at her place fixing dinner, because I had forgotten that the girls are going over to Sabrina's house for like girls' night. So Sabrina's fixing dinner, and Danny comes in. They have a brief talk about the whole situation about Preston's racist brothers. And the fact that, she's been calling and texting all day, but Preston hasn't responded. Karen arrives, and, she's all about the credit card drama. And Danny's trying to take up for Zach, and Karen isn't having it. Basically, it's like, why don't y'all ask how I'm doing? Why don't y'all ask how I feel? And even Sabrina's like, are you sure he did it? Because, Danny is like, Karen is like, this is a big deal, credit card stuff. So then, Sabrina's like, hey, what I can do is, looking at the paperwork, these charges are to like a sister company of the bank. Let me call somebody I know, and they can look into the charges, because these women are asking the right questions. Like, it's you, before jumping to the conclusion that Zach did it, look at the charges, see where they're from, see if they're familiar, to identify whether or not this could be fraudulent activity or not. So then Andy shows up, and even she's like, wait, this doesn't sound like Zach. And then she even says, well, Karen, you need to make 100% sure this is Zach, especially if you involve the police, because this could be jail time. And then she's playing the victim card. Nobody's listening to Danny, who's offering solid advice here. So pretty much, after that, she explains the whole situation about the chain breakers and the fact that he has a new woman. Karen is all huffy about it. I ain't gonna lie, Karen, even though it's annoying how she's acting, she is a bit adorable when she gets all flustered like this. So Sabrina comes back in and says, hey, it'll take about a day or so for the charges to, be accounted for, and she will let Karen know as soon as she gets information on it. Karen's still upset, and then Andy kind of tilts her head when the girls want to focus on her about the whole Gary situation. No, turn around. And that goes back to the Fatima thing, where Andy always has something to say about everyone else's relationships and dramas, But when it comes to her own situation, she's blind as a bat to it, like Stevie Wonder. But she says Gary's tried to call multiple times, but she hasn't answered. But it's hard as hell. And I do give her props for not giving in yet. All right. Then we go over to Sabrina revealing the Preston drama, and Danny's mad. But I think it was Sabrina who said this, because Andy's like, okay, can we get, Danny's like, can we get this food going and stop talking about men? It's like, well, yeah, but I think we should have these talks more. And I'm like, that's a fact. Not only should they have these talks more, but it should be talks with all 4 women, or at least who's available, as opposed to Karen and Andy, Danny and Sabrina, and then there's attitudes because so-and-so didn't reveal, like, oh, here's this tea here's this hot tea you didn't let me sip on, and all that stuff. I like scenes like this. Yes, even though Karen, it was a bit much to deal with her attitude, just having the 4 women together, all offering advice and whatnot, whether or not they'll take it is beyond me. I like this scene. It was really good. I really did enjoy it. All right, so then everything comes to an end, after, again, Preston isn't responding to everything, despite the fact he used to contact her all the time. Danny's in her car, calls Preston, no answer. She arrives at her apartment. This was a weird way to end the episode, just the editing, because to be honest, I thought somebody was going to pop up in Danny's car or, bang on her window. But one moment she's in the car, then the next she's at her door and Preston's there with a black eye. Really wish the ending was a little edited a bit better. But other than that, I thought this was a solid episode. Like I said, I wasn't really sure how to define Andy, and I didn't like Karen's jumping to conclusion because of the fact that they did bring good points. I think it was Danny's like, so what are you mad about, Danny? Karen, the money or the new woman? And I really think that Karen should have really, just because it said Zach Taylor again, you got to look at those charges because of bank, fraudulent activity and whatnot. This is a common thing. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think for Just For Me? I'm a bit worried because this is one of the lowest rated episodes of the season so far. It's at 0.85. Well, then again, this is only the second episode since it came back, so I'm not that worried. Never mind. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month.